A Monster Calls is a 2016 fantasy film directed by J.A. Bayona? I honestly don't know how to pronounce these weird directors' names. With the screenplay being written by Patrick Ness, who is actually the author of the original book that the screenplay is based off of. The story follows a young boy named Connor. He's going through some tough times. Things like his father being somewhat estranged, having a somewhat of a control-freak grandmother, and on top of that, his mother's terminally ill. They don't really explain what it is, but, you know, you just know that she's terminally ill. And one night, Connor is visited by this giant tree-like creature who keeps coming back through all the nights to tell him stories. Now, I know this is a bit weird sounding, but just hear me out. There are great performances in this film, and I do want to specifically talk about Louis McDougall, who plays Connor. This kid was fucking outstanding. It didn't even look like he was acting. He just felt like a kid who was actually going through these, who's just reacting to these tragedies. Sure, some of the reactions that he gives are over the top, but they still feel realistic. I honestly felt like if I was going through these exact same issues, I'd probably act the same way. And then, of course, Sigourney Weaver, Toby Kebbell, Felicity Jones, they're all great in this movie. Lastly, we have Liam Neeson as the monster, and I honestly forgot that Neeson was voicing the monster, which is a great thing, but what made the character so awesome is that whenever he would tell a story, Connor would come to this conclusion, you know, one that we would most likely come to. But then the tree decides to flip it on him and say, yes, but how about you look at it from this perspective? As I said earlier, the tree comes around to tell Connor's stories, and even saying it now, it sounds really ludicrous, but it's not, because all the stories that he tells somewhat plays into what is going on with Connor, and it's just trying to help him get through everything, and I think that's really cool. Just to let you know, this is not really a kid's movie. A couple of the trailers actually made me think that this was just a simple thing, I don't know, kind of like a Narnia sort of feel, where it's just a little boy and his imaginary tree-like companion, you know, woodland creature stuff. But this is a very hard watch, not just because it's, well, not because it's bad, but just how heavy-hitting the source material is. Younger children will either won't be attached to what's going on, or they'll just find the themes kind of disturbing. But my suggestion would be to not show it to anybody under 10 years old. And the visuals in this film are just plain awesome. The monster looks really cool, and whenever he tells stories, they're visualized in a sort of animation style that's similar to a watercolor painting. And I absolutely loved it. It added to that fantastical feel that the film had, and because the film mostly looks bleak as far as color, it really pops out. And though I'm not going to say the composer's name because you already saw with the start, I don't even know how to pronounce the director's name, I'm not going to fuck up this name. But the score is just, I don't know how else to say it, it's just painfully beautiful. It's just emotional, moving, and just touched with a hint of magic. It was an amazing score that successfully captured the essence of what the film was, and the story, as well as everything from the original source material. In the end, I really couldn't find any personal flaws with it. I thought it was an amazing movie. Although, I will say, this is a film that I won't be rewatching and rewatching over and over again because it's extremely sad and I really don't like crying very much. Out of 5 reels, I'm gonna give Monster Calls a 5. I mean, I can't give any lower. As always, thank you so much for watching and just listening to me ramble. So I'm just gonna go now because I want to watch another movie that won't make me sad. And actually, I feel like I want to do a shitty movie this time. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Bye.